These 5 reheated foods could be harming your brain and body. Reheating certain everyday meals could be silently increasing your risk of cancer or memory loss. Today, we're uncovering a kitchen truth that many people have no idea about, but which could have serious consequences for your brain and body. Let me ask you this. Have you ever made a big pot of food and reheated it the next day? Or even the day after that? Seems harmless, right? Hello and welcome back to the channel that puts your well-being first. Especially if you're over 50 and determined to live your golden years in strength, clarity, and comfort. Foods that are normally healthy and nutritious can actually become toxic under certain conditions, especially when reheated improperly. For seniors, this is more than just a food safety issue. It's a critical health alert. As we age, our body's ability to process and eliminate toxins slows down. What might be a mild digestive discomfort for a 25-year-old could be a serious health complication for someone over 60. And unfortunately, many seniors unknowingly expose themselves to these risks every single day just by reheating common leftovers. That's why today's video is so important. We're not just listing 5 foods to be cautious about. We're diving deep into the science, the risks, and most importantly, how to reheat food safely to protect your brain, your digestive system, and your overall vitality. So before we go any further, I want to ask you, if you care about your long-term health or someone you love, hit that subscribe button right now. Tap like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with anyone you know over 50. Let's spread awareness and protect our health together. Now, let's start by understanding what actually happens to food when we reheat it, and why our senior bodies react differently than younger ones. Understanding why reheating can turn food toxic for seniors. You might be wondering, how can reheating something as innocent as chicken, potatoes, or eggs be harmful? To answer that, we need to look at what happens to food molecules during the reheating process. When food is cooked, its chemical structure begins to change. This includes a breakdown of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats into forms that are more digestible or, in some cases, more harmful. Reheating that same food causes further breakdown, and this is where the problem begins. Let's take oxidation as an example. Oxidation is a chemical reaction that occurs when food is exposed to air and heat. While this is a natural part of cooking, reheating accelerates it, especially in foods rich in fats and oils. This process can produce free radicals, which are unstable molecules that damage your cells, accelerate aging, and increase the risk of diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's. In fact, according to several studies published in food chemistry journals, repeated heating of oils and certain fats leads to the formation of lipid peroxides, highly reactive compounds that contribute to inflammation and even damage DNA. This is particularly concerning for older adults who may already have pre-existing conditions such as cardiovascular issues or mild cognitive impairment. Now, let's talk about protein structure. When protein-rich foods like chicken or eggs are cooked and then reheated, their molecular structure changes. These changes can make the protein more difficult to digest and less bioavailable. In other words, your body has a harder time using it. And in some cases, the altered proteins can even become irritating to the digestive tract, leading to bloating, discomfort, or nausea. For seniors, this is especially dangerous. Our metabolism naturally slows down as we age, and our digestive efficiency decreases. That means reheated food, particularly food that's been reheated multiple times, doesn't process the same way it used to. It lingers longer in the digestive system, and in that extra time, toxins can build up, gut bacteria can become imbalanced, and inflammation can be triggered. Another major concern is the presence of nitrates and nitrites, naturally found in certain vegetables like spinach and celery. These compounds can convert into nitrosamines when exposed to high heat during reheating, a group of chemicals that have been linked to increased cancer risk, especially in the digestive tract. And let's not forget about foodborne illnesses. Improper reheating may not kill all the bacteria present in leftovers, especially if food wasn't stored properly to begin with. Seniors with naturally weaker immune systems are more likely to experience severe symptoms from bacteria like Listeria, Salmonella, and Clostridium botulinum, all of which thrive in improperly stored or reheated food. All of this paints a very clear picture. What you do after you've cooked your meal matters just as much as how you prepare it in the first place. You see, we're not saying you should never eat leftovers or reheat your meals. Not at all. In fact, leftovers can be a fantastic way to save time, money, and energy. But if you're not reheating the right way, or you're reheating the wrong foods, you're going to unknowingly be introducing toxic compounds into your system every day. In the next minutes, we'll break down exactly which 5 common foods become toxic when reheated, why they're problematic, and how to enjoy them safely without putting your brain or body at risk. Stay with me, because what you learn next could save you or someone you love from a health crisis. Food 1. Potatoes. Why leftover potatoes could be a health trap. Let's begin with one of the most common comfort foods in every household, potatoes. Whether boiled, fried, mashed, or baked, potatoes are a staple for many seniors because they're soft, satisfying, and easy to digest. But once potatoes are cooked, it can become a hidden hazard when left out too long and reheated improperly. The biggest risk with reheated potatoes isn't something you can see, smell, or taste. It's a potentially deadly bacteria called Clostridium botulinum, which causes botulism. This bacterium thrives in low-oxygen environments, like sealed containers or tightly wrapped foil, and can grow in cooked potatoes that are left at room temperature for too long. What's more alarming is that botulism toxins aren't destroyed by reheating. That means even if you warm up those potatoes again, the toxins can still remain and pose a serious health risk, especially for seniors with weaker immune systems. Beyond bacteria, potatoes are a starchy food, and when starchy foods like potatoes are cooled and then reheated, a process known as retrogradation occurs. This changes the structure of the starch into what scientists call resistant starch, which sounds good because it's harder to digest and has some benefits. But here the problem is when reheated above certain temperatures, these resistant starches may break down and form acrylamide, a chemical that the World Health Organization has classified as a potential carcinogen. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that reheated starchy foods, especially potatoes, are among the most common sources of acrylamide exposure in the human diet. This is particularly concerning for older adults, as the body's ability to detoxify harmful chemicals slows down with age, making them more vulnerable to long-term effects. But don't worry, you don't need to give up potatoes altogether. You just need to handle them with care. Here's a practical tip. Never leave cooked potatoes out at room temperature for more than 2 hours. If you prepared more than you can eat, place leftovers in an airtight container and refrigerate them immediately. When reheating, use a stovetop or oven instead of the microwave, as these methods ensure more even heating and reduce the risk of underheating the center where bacteria can hide. And when in doubt, throw it out. The risks of eating improperly stored or reheated potatoes far outweigh the benefits of saving a little food. Let's move on to the second food on our list. Food 2. Chicken. Chicken is an excellent source of lean protein, rich in essential amino acids, low in fat, and widely recommended by health professionals as a smart meat choice for seniors. But when chicken is reheated improperly, it can do more harm than good, particularly for aging digestive systems. Here's why. Chicken is high in protein, and while protein is critical for muscle maintenance and immune health in seniors, it's also sensitive to temperature changes. When cooked and then cooled, chicken's protein structure begins to change. Reheating it alters this structure even more, often turning it into a form that's harder for your body to break down. For seniors with reduced stomach acid or slower digestive enzymes, this can lead to bloating, indigestion, or even nausea after eating reheated chicken. More importantly, reheating chicken unevenly, especially in a microwave, can allow bacteria like Salmonella or Campylobacter to survive in parts of the meat that don't reach the necessary internal temperature of at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit 74 degrees Celsius. These bacteria are no joke. They can cause severe gastrointestinal distress, dehydration, and in some cases hospitalization, particularly in older adults with compromised immunity. But there's also a chemical side to this story. Some emerging research has indicated that overheating chicken during reheating can lead to the release of oxidized lipids and proteins. These byproducts have been linked to inflammatory responses in the body, and as we know, chronic inflammation is a major contributor to age-related diseases like arthritis, heart disease, and cognitive decline. So, what's the solution? According to clinical nutritionists and food safety experts, the safest way to handle chicken leftovers is to cool and store them in shallow containers so they chill faster in the fridge. When you're ready to reheat, use the oven or stovetop instead of the microwave. Always check the internal temperature with a food thermometer to ensure it reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit evenly. Avoid reheating more than once. Each cycle increases the risk of harmful compounds forming. Another tip is cut chicken into smaller pieces before reheating. This helps it heat more evenly and quickly, reducing the chances of bacterial survival or chemical degradation. Remember, it's not just about killing bacteria. It's about protecting your gut, your heart, and your brain from the silent damage that poorly reheated food can cause over time. So far, we've seen how two very common foods, potatoes and chicken, can transform from nourishing meals to potential health risks when not handled properly. Food 3. Eggs. Eggs are often hailed as one of nature's most complete foods, and for good reason. They're loaded with high-quality protein, healthy fats, essential vitamins like B12 and D, and minerals like selenium and choline, which are particularly important for brain health in older adults. For many seniors, eggs are a go-to breakfast option. Soft, easy to prepare, and versatile. But while eggs offer excellent nutrition when freshly cooked, the story changes once they're reheated. Let's start with what happens to the nutrients when reheated. Eggs contain delicate compounds that are sensitive to heat. When cooked the first time, some of these nutrients, especially water-soluble ones like vitamin B6 and folate, begin to degrade. Reheating them, especially at high temperatures or in the microwave, can cause even more nutrient breakdown. So, that reheated boiled or scrambled egg may not be providing you with the same health benefits you think it is. What is more concern is what happens when eggs are left out too long before being stored or reheated. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, cooked eggs should be refrigerated within 2 hours of preparation. If left at room temperature beyond that window, they can become a breeding ground for harmful bacteria, such as salmonella, especially in warm climates. For older adults, even mild foodborne illnesses can quickly become serious health concerns due to reduced immune function and slower recovery times. Let's talk chemistry, specifically about sulfur. Eggs naturally contain sulfur, particularly in the yolks. When eggs are reheated, especially after being overcooked or stored improperly, the sulfur compounds can break down into hydrogen sulfide gas, which is not only unpleasant smelling, but can also be toxic at high concentrations. While the amount in food are generally low, repetitive reheating and long exposure to warm temperatures can amplify these effects. Some food scientists also caution that these sulfurous compounds may react with proteins or fats in eggs to form nitrosamines, a group of chemicals that have been studied for their potential carcinogenic properties. Though more research is needed on this specific risk in reheated eggs, the FDA and CDC guidelines are clear. Reheated eggs must be handled with care, and leftovers should only be kept in the refrigerator for up to 3 to 4 days, tightly sealed, and reheated thoroughly to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. For seniors who love their boiled eggs or scrambled eggs with breakfast, here's a simple tip. Only cook what you can finish in one sitting, or at the very least, refrigerate any leftovers quickly and avoid reheating eggs more than once. Consider using hard-boiled eggs cold in salads or sandwiches rather than reheating them, which reduces both the loss of nutrients and the risk of chemical alteration. Let's quickly shift our focus to a food that many consider and reveal why this leafy green may not be as innocent as it seems when it comes to reheating. Food 4. Spinach, the nitrate problem you shouldn't ignore. Spinach is often the first vegetable that comes to mind when people talk about eating for vitality. It's packed with iron, calcium, magnesium, and a wide range of antioxidants like lutein and beta-carotene, all of which support bone health, vision, and cognitive function, making it an excellent choice for seniors. But there's something hiding in spinach that can become dangerous when reheated: nitrates. Nitrates themselves are naturally occurring compounds found in many vegetables, and under normal conditions, they're not harmful. In fact, they can actually support blood flow and cardiovascular health when metabolized properly. However, when spinach is cooked, cooled, and then reheated, particularly at high temperatures, the nitrate compounds can convert into nitrites, and from there into nitrosamines, which are known carcinogens. This chemical reaction is especially likely to occur if spinach is left at room temperature for too long before being refrigerated or is reheated multiple times. According to a study published in the journal Food Chemistry, reheated nitrate-rich vegetables like spinach, beets, and celery are among the top contributors to dietary nitrosamine exposure, which has been linked to an increased risk of stomach and colon cancer. Now, you might be thinking, but I've eaten spinach leftovers before, should I be worried? Not necessarily. The real risk emerges when these conditions are combined, reheating multiple times, storing at room temperature, and using high heat methods like microwaving. For seniors, the concern is heightened because our detoxification systems slow down with age. The liver, which plays a crucial role in neutralizing harmful substances, may become less efficient at clearing nitrosamines and other toxins from the bloodstream. In practical terms, this means older adults could face a greater cumulative effect from seemingly small exposures to reheated vegetables over time. But don't worry, this doesn't mean you need to stop eating spinach. In fact, you should continue including it in your diet because of its immense benefits. The key is in how you prepare and consume it. Here's how to enjoy spinach safely. Eat it fresh whenever possible. Add raw spinach to smoothies, salads, or sandwiches to get the full spectrum of nutrients without heating it at all. If you cook spinach, only make what you'll eat immediately. Avoid batch cooking large portions unless you plan to cool and refrigerate them right away. When reheating spinach, use low to moderate heat and never reheat it more than once. Stir it well to distribute heat evenly and avoid microwave hot spots, where nitrates can convert more rapidly. Store leftovers in airtight glass containers and refrigerate them within 90 minutes of cooking. Following these safety practices can continue benefiting from spinach without exposing yourself to avoidable chemical changes that can impact your health in the long term. We've now explored 4 common foods that may seem healthy but can become harmful when reheated under wrong conditions: potatoes, chicken, eggs, and spinach. Each one has unique risks and safety guidelines, especially important for seniors who may be more vulnerable to toxins and digestion challenges. Coming up next, we'll examine the 5th and final food on this list: mushrooms. These delicious fungi are rich in antioxidants and fiber, but did you know they can become toxic when mishandled after cooking? Stay with me as we uncover why mushrooms deserve special attention in your senior-friendly kitchen. Food 5. Mushrooms. Why you should think twice before reheating. Mushrooms are a fantastic ingredient for seniors looking to boost their antioxidant intake. Rich in selenium, B vitamins, potassium, and fiber, they support brain health, improve immunity, and aid in digestion. But despite all these benefits, mushrooms come with a hidden danger when it comes to reheating, one that many people overlook. Mushrooms are made up of complex proteins, enzymes, and bioactive compounds, some of which are very heat sensitive. When mushrooms are cooked the first time, their unique cellular structure breaks down, making them more digestible and releasing nutrients. However, if they are cooled improperly and then reheated, especially in the microwave or high temperatures, those same proteins and compounds can break down further into substances that are difficult for the body to process or even harmful. According to research published in the International Journal of Food Sciences and Nutrition, reheating cooked mushrooms can cause changes in their protein structure, which may lead to gastrointestinal discomfort, such as bloating, cramping, or indigestion, especially in older adults whose digestive efficiency has naturally declined with age. In addition, some studies suggest that certain types of mushrooms, particularly those high in polyphenol and antioxidants, may lose their protective benefits when reheated. Not only do you risk reducing their nutritional value, but you could also be introducing oxidized compounds into your body, which have been linked to inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which accelerate aging and contribute to chronic diseases like heart disease and arthritis. There's also a microbial concern. Mushrooms have a high moisture content, which makes them a prime environment for bacterial growth if left out for too long. As with other foods we've discussed, bacteria can survive and thrive in mushrooms that aren't cooled quickly or reheated thoroughly. And because mushrooms are often included in mixed dishes like soups, stir-fries, or casseroles, they can easily become the weak link in food safety if not handled properly. For seniors, this matters. An upset stomach, even a mild one, can lead to a loss of appetite, dehydration, and poor nutrient absorption, which over time can contribute to muscle loss, low energy, and poor immunity. So what's the best way to enjoy mushrooms without the risk? Here's some simple advice. Cook mushrooms fresh and only in quantities you plan to consume immediately. If you must store leftovers, do so within 90 minutes of cooking, placing them in a shallow, airtight container in the refrigerator. When reheating, avoid the microwave if possible, especially for thick, dense mushroom dishes. Use a pan or oven where heat can be more evenly distributed, and make sure the dish is steaming hot all the way through, not just warm on the surface. As always, when in doubt, don't reheat it. Mushrooms are best enjoyed fresh, and it's often safer and healthier to eat them cold the next day in a salad or wrap, rather than risking potential digestive distress or toxin exposure from improper reheating. Multiplying. Refrigerators should always be kept at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius or below, and leftovers should be consumed within 3 to 4 days. When in doubt, throw it out. The risk of reheating spoiled food is never worth saving a few bites. Next, let's talk about reheating temperatures. All leftovers should be heated to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. This ensures that any lingering bacteria are destroyed. Use a food thermometer. They're inexpensive and easy to use, and they give you peace of mind that your food is safe to eat. Now, about the microwave. While it's fast and convenient, it's also notorious for heating unevenly. The outer layer might be steaming, but the center can remain cool, and that's exactly where bacteria love to hide. If you do use a microwave, stir your food halfway through and cover with microwave-safe lid or wrap to retain moisture and distribute heat more evenly. For seniors, especially those with arthritis or mobility challenges, consider investing in user-friendly kitchen tools. For example, electric food warmers and countertop convection ovens provide more even heating than microwaves. Microwave-safe portion trays let you reheat individual servings without overcooking the whole batch. Digital thermometers with large displays are easy to read and can help avoid undercooked food. And finally, reheating food more than once is a big no-no. Every cycle of cooling and heating increases the chance for bacterial growth and nutrient loss. Reheat only what you plan to eat at that moment. Let's recap some key takeaways for safe reheating. Store food quickly and properly. Always reheat to 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. Avoid microwaving high-risk foods. Use proper tools that make kitchen safety easier. When in doubt, don't reheat. Eat it cold or compost it. By practicing these simple safety habits, you can confidently enjoy your leftovers without compromising your health, energy, or independence. So there you have it. 5 everyday foods: potatoes, chicken, eggs, spinach, and mushrooms that can go from healthy to harmful if reheated incorrectly, especially for seniors. But remember, knowledge is power. Now that you understand the risks and solutions, you're better equipped to make choices that protect your well-being and support graceful aging. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your loved ones, especially those over 50 who may not be aware of these dangers. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another episode on how to live healthier, longer, and smarter. Until next time, stay strong, stay informed, and take care of your health, one meal at a time. Doctor's advice, what medical experts? Now that we explore the what and why behind food reheating dangers, let's take a moment to hear from professionals, those who study nutrition, aging, and food safety every single day. Medical experts agree that older adults face unique risks when it comes to foodborne illnesses and dietary toxins. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and CDC, seniors over age 65 are among the most vulnerable to severe complications from food poisoning due to naturally weakened immune responses, reduced stomach acid production, and slower digestion. Dr. Martha Rivera, a geriatric dietitian, notes in a recent interview with the Journal of Geriatric Nutrition Many of my older patients report upset stomach or fatigue after reheating leftovers. What they often don't realize is that food quality and safety dramatically change once it's been cooked, cooled, and heated again. Seniors simply don't process those chemical changes the way younger adults might. In a 2022 article published in the British Medical Journal, researchers highlighted the dangers of repeatedly reheating high-starch foods like potatoes and rice, noting that the resulting acrylamide exposure is most harmful to people with reduced detoxification capacity, a condition common in seniors due to age-related liver and kidney decline. Similarly, a publication from the World Health Organization, WHO, advises that aging adults should treat leftovers as potential bacterial hotspots, especially when dealing with high-protein items like chicken or eggs. They recommend that seniors reheat food to a minimum of 165 degrees Fahrenheit 74 degrees Celsius and never leave cooked food at room temperature for more than 2 hours. Clinical nutritionist Sarah Geller, MSRD, also offers this insight. As we get older, our bodies simply become less efficient at handling toxins and bacteria. It's not just about keeping food fresh. It's about avoiding unnecessary chemical stress on the body. Making smart reheating choices can help reduce inflammation, support digestion, and even prevent long-term damage. These voices from the medical and nutrition community validate everything we've discussed, that while food itself isn't the enemy, the way we handle it after cooking can determine whether it nourishes our body or silently stresses it. So don't think of this video as a warning to make you fearful. Think of it as your toolbox for healthier choices. Because once you understand how your body works and how food behaves, you can make decisions that protect your well-being today and for years to come. Final thoughts. Don't fear food. Let's bring this full circle. We've walked through 5 common foods that could pose risks when reheated the wrong way: potatoes, chicken, eggs, spinach, and mushrooms. Each of them is incredibly nutritious when fresh, but if you're not mindful of how they're stored and reheat now, let's wrap this up with some final encouragement and a few simple reminders you can put into practice today. They can become sources of bacteria, toxins, or compounds that stress your body. But here's the key message I want you to remember. This is not about fear. It's about awareness. This is not about giving up your favorite meals. It's about preparation and smart habits. Instead of reheating that foil-wrapped baked potato, store it properly and reheat it on the stove. Instead of zapping leftover chicken in the microwave, slice it smaller and warm it evenly in a pan. And instead of letting spinach soup or a mushroom dish sit too long, eat only what you need and chill the rest quickly. It's the little changes like these that protect your digestion, your energy levels, and even your brain health. So here's your quick cheat sheet recap. Potatoes, store quickly, reheat once, avoid foil. Chicken, slice, stir, and reheat to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Eggs, avoid reheating boiled or scrambled eggs multiple times. Spinach, limit reheating, especially in soups or sauces. Mushrooms, eat fresh, store fast, or enjoy cold the next day. These small adjustments may seem simple, but they're powerful tools in your wellness journey. Because every choice you make in the kitchen is an investment in your vitality, independence, and peace of mind. Now, before you go, let's keep the conversation going. Have you been reheating any of these foods? Or do you have other food safety questions you've always wondered about? Speech balloon, drop a comment below. I'll be checking and personally replying to every question this week. Let's learn from each other and build a stronger, healthier community together. And don't forget, if you found value in today's video, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and share it with someone over 50 who needs to hear this. We're building a space where aging feels less scary and a lot more empowered. Until next time, stay healthy, stay wise, and remember, it's not just what you eat, it's how you handle it that matters most. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.